live already as I was wiping my nose. I think my producer behind the scenes made me live before I was ready to be live, as you catch me blowing my nose. But that's okay because I'm bold. I'm bold like that. Hello, hello, hello. This is Kim Coles. For those of you watching the replay, you will see all of that. For those of you coming in live, I will start to see you all come in live as we are getting started today. So today is the beginning of the Bold Living Challenge. No, actually, let me fix that. It's the Boldacious Living Challenge. And I'm getting some messages about where we're going may not be working, but that's okay. A lot of technological things happening in the background. So if you're coming in now, you're going to hear some noise. That's because there is a whole building being built next door to the building I live in. So hello, construction. Hello, those men have jobs and it's real hot. They start real early because it's really hot in California. And so you will hear some noise in the background, and that's okay. I am excited to present this week-long challenge called Boldacious Living. And I'm going to explain what Boldacious Living means in just a moment as I welcome you in. Thank you for being here. I can see your comments, but I'm going to try not to get distracted by the comments. Yeah, stay focused on what I want to do with you today. So what is Boldacious Living and why are you here? So I have a workbook for you. And those of you who may be watching this on channels other than where this is going live in the private group, I want to let you know that first of all, you can absolutely get a copy of the workbook and get the email reminders and know all about the replays and all that. So let me tell you how to do that. You would go to oh no, that's not the one. You will go to boldlivingchallenge.com. So I'm not posting this workbook anywhere. You have to register and it will be sent to you in an email and you get the download. And by the way, if you got your emails and didn't get it, we'll send it again. Don't worry. It's a delicious, very colorful workbook. You know, I always like to apologize to people for making workbooks that will use all of your ink. So what I do is I want to show you that there's a black and white version. So you can print the black and white version so you don't have to take up all of your ink. I'd like to apologize in advance that I'm going to use up all of your ink on your printer, but you can go with the black and white version or you can get the color because this is going to be our companion guide as we go through this beautiful challenge. I created this challenge because I think now is the time for you to live a boldacious life. And I'm going to explain what that means in just a second. By the way, I'm fully aware that there's a whole trend right now about being very demure, very mindful, very cutesy. And I'm saying that's a way to be bold too. So let's talk about, let me see where people are coming in. Hello, let me know where you are. Hello, welcome. So welcome to the Boldacious Living Challenge. And let me just describe what that means. Boldacious Living is all about embracing, it's in the workbook, by the way, so you have to go to the boldlivingchallenge.com in order to register. Boldacious Living is all about embracing fear and taking risks. It's about stepping out of your comfort zone and pushing yourself to try new things, even if they scare you, right? It's about cultivating confidence and self-belief. Confidence is key when it comes to living boldly. Cultivating self-belief and a strong sense of self-worth can empower you to go after what you really want and overcome all the obstacles that show up in your way, right? Boldacious is about embracing authenticity and individuality. And I actually think that, you know, there's a lot of talk about living your authentic life. I'm going to go even deeper in this challenge, and we're going to talk about living your true life, like living in alignment with your assignment. Because I think that's even deeper than just authentic. Because what does authentic mean if it's not about being your truest, best version of yourself, the self that you choose to be, right? And you make choices and you step into that really powerfully, right? So it's about being unapologetically you and not conforming to societal norms or expectations. So it's not about what those people think that you should do or be or have or experience. It's about what you feel in alignment with your divine creator, the divine creator of your choice, however you language it, you get to decide. And once I figured that out in my life, it made such a huge difference. It's a choice. It's a choice. Um, and Boldacious Living is also about pursuing passion and purpose. So Boldacious Living is about pursuing your passion and living with purpose. It's about following your heart, which I think is your true north, and doing what you love, even in the face of adversity. I'm going to say, especially in the face of adversity, like the adversity of this noise that's happening next door. So welcome as you're coming in. So happy to have you here. So just so you know, boldacious is a made-up word. It's a made-up word, and it's a combination of two words, bold and audacious. Bold meaning bold, meaning uh, um, coming forward, coming forward, being not loud as in loud, but being right here in your face, making a choice to stand strong, right? That's bold to me. It's like going, this is what it is. This is who I am. Bold to me is really an expression of truth. It just is what it is. It's having blue and purple and red hair. It's bold. It's also having brown hair if that's your choice. It's a bold choice. And audacious is living into that space of uh, wanting more, being more, having more, expressing more. So really being boldacious is about being the more you're meant to be, being the best version of yourself. You can register at Bold Living Challenge. By the way, if you're seeing this anywhere other than the email I sent you, seeing this anywhere other than the Boldacious Boot Camp, then you don't have the workbook yet. By the way, let me also put that up too. So this is a couple of moving parts to this. So every day I will come live at 10 a.m. PST. 10 a.m. PST. There will be a replay that shows up here, what I call the Boldacious Base Camp. Now, just as an example of my my boldaciousness, I named it the Boldacious Base Camp, but it's also called the Boldacious Boot Camp because I'm using them interchangeably. So when you go to coachkimcoles.com/bold, you will join the Boldacious Base Camp, which is where, or Boldacious Boot Camp, which is where all the conversations will happen around this challenge, right? Once again, I said it's going to be 5 days this week. I may or may not do a bonus day on Saturday, wink. I may or may not do an extra day on Saturday, wink. But what will happen is every day I'll go live and I'll leave the replays up for 24 hours. And then the content comes down. The challenge, the live stream I'm doing with you, the training that I'm going to be doing with you will come down. However, if you are a VIP, which is only $97, here's what you get. If you choose VIP, when you go to that registration page, the second page is to join the VIP, and we'll put up the link in just a moment. If you're just like, hey, Kim, I know I want to spend some time with you, let's go VIP. Not only do you get the workbook like everyone gets, you get to keep the replays for as long as I keep this up, for a lifetime, right? For as long as I keep this up. We have a separate space that's just for VIPs to hold on to the content for lifetime. It means you can watch it over and over again. I also have some, what I like to call a virtual swag bag of goodies to deepen this work, some reference materials, some other tools that will deepen this work. And you get to spend time with me after we're live each day. So my VIPs, if you're watching this, go to check your email right after this is done and join me on Zoom where we'll do some live coaching. Nothing I love better than live coaching. It'll be a smaller group and I'll get a chance to answer your questions and hear how you're feeling about this challenge and really help you clarify anything that needs to be clarified, right? And so that's available to you. It's only $97. Oh, but wait, there's more. What I didn't tell you is when you say yes to VIP and when you get the replays you get to keep for life, when you get to spend some extra time with me and we get to do some hot seat, love seat coaching, The other benefit of this is I actually give you that $97 back, and you can apply it to future workshops and future uh, projects of mine. And so I actually give you that $97 back as a credit towards future work with me. So it's kind of like doing it for free, kind of free, not free. $97 for VIP, and I give you that $97 back in the way of a credit towards future workshops. And I've got some great things showing up shortly. All right, so let's just jump into the content. Let's see. I'm going to share. I've got slides. I've got beautiful slides. I'm going to make myself smallish. How about that? Let's do that. Let's do that. Hello and welcome, welcome. So let's begin. Welcome to the Boldacious. Let me take out that banner. Oh, thank you. My producer in the background is my beloved Dr. E.J. Johnson. I want to shout out Dr. E.J., who is the most incredible business partner and the most incredible life partner. And actually, the life partner piece is the best part. And so I want to thank him for his generosity of time and spirit and energy and support to help me run things behind the scenes, because there's a lot going on all in through here, and there's a lot going on all up and through here. He has to manage it all. Good luck, EJ, and thank you. Thank you. All right, so welcome to the Boldacious Living Challenge. Like I said, it is a made-up word. Boldacious is about living a life that's bold and audacious, that you choose to live your life in the way that you choose to live, from the heart, from the truest part of who you are, and the courage. It takes courage to live boldly. And maybe it means animal print tops with a little bit of sequins on it. Maybe it means having blue hair. Maybe it means whatever you need it to mean. You can still be cutesy and demure, very mindful. In fact, being boldacious is the most mindful thing that you can do. It means you made the choice to step fully into your dreams, fully into your life, and fully into the legacy you were meant to live and leave. And I talk a lot about legacy and was really impacted by legacy. And I'll tell some of the stories of how I came to understand this. Those of you know, I went to Egypt in 2018 and changed my world, changed my life, because I have now the perspective of understanding that we're talking about people, places, and things that took place thousands of years before. 3,000, 4,000, 2,000, 6,000 years before. I was standing in spaces where we have lived and we have loved and we have experienced life and have left to tell, and we still tell the stories of these people. These people left their legacy. And I know that if that legacy lives in those people, in that space, in that place, then that legacy lives in me too. And so I've decided to live a life where not only do I drop a pebble in the pond and create a ripple effect with my life, I know that you do that too. You do that already, whether or not you take credit for it. You influence and impact the people around you by being the pebble in the pond and the ripple effect. The way that you speak, the way that you carry yourself, the choices that you've made in your life are already creating your legacy. There are people who are affected by who you have already shown up to be. So why not show up and be the most powerful version of that all the time? Now, I want to share something with you too that's, the good stuff. There's a quote. It's actually one of my favorite quotes, one of my favorite, ways of living. And the quote is often attributed to Nelson Mandela because he used it in his 1994 inaugural speech. But he actually borrowed it from Marianne Williamson and credits her. But, because he's Nelson Mandela, people took the quote and go, oh, he said this. Actually, it comes from a book called A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. And you'll recognize the quote. I really want you to drop into this idea, this perspective on life. And it also resonated with me so much. Now I'll tell you the story of how I first heard it. But let's hear it. You've heard this one. Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Step into that just a moment. You're actually powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talent, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. I'm going to stop for just a moment right there. That one hit me hard. It hit me hard when I first heard it. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure about around you. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure about you, around you. Forgive me. I'm going to come back to that point in just a moment. Really let that one sink in. A lot of times people don't read the whole quote, but I'm going to give it to you just so you have it, and you can certainly go look it up and see if this idea feels good to you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it is in everyone. As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. Wait a minute, I got to read that again. As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So, the ripple in the pond. When you shine your light, other people see it and know that it's possible for them too. And that's why this quote is so important. And I'll come back later and tell you how how that has shown up in my life over and over and over again, and really is the guiding force. It's a true north for me for wanting to live a boldacious life, for me wanting to be the best version of myself, the perfectly imperfect version of myself. And that's okay. And you get to do that, get to do the same. All right, let's see how I can advance this. Here we go. So create your bold legacy. Like I said, you can get the workbook by going to here. No, that's not where you go. By going here. Actually, let me just give you the link to join the VIP right now. For those of you who are listening, you're like, I want to spend some extra time with Kim Coles. Just go to www.boldlivingchallenge.com/VIP, and that will take you straight to the page that gives you an opportunity to be a VIP, and we'll send you the Zoom link and you join me right after we're done with this. Okay. So boldlivingchallenge.com/VIP. And that's how you get the very pretty workbook. Like I said, you can do it in color or print it out in black and white and save some of your ink. Whatever you choose to do is fine by me. And to register, if you haven't registered yet, you go to boldlivingchallenge.com. So today we're going to talk about unleashing your boldness. This is a journey to confidence and joyful living. I am a stand for joy. I am choosing to make joy my default factory setting. You know how like you have some sort of device in your life, your computer, your microwave, all the devices in your life. And when something goes awry, when the wires get crossed, or when Mercury's in retrograde, or something happens, you unplug that bad boy, or you cut it off and you cut it back on again and let it come back to its default position. It's so funny, every year, how we change the clocks backwards and forwards, and I still get confused. Do you spring forward? Do you fall back? Do you, whatever it is, when it goes up an hour or down an hour, whatever that is. And I'm always annoyed when I have to change the setting in my car. I'm like, oh man, it's been perfect for 6 months. I don't want to change it. But sure enough, you gotta, undo it to redo it. Or, when you go and get your car, repaired, or get the systems repaired, if you notice when you get it back, like they've undone everything, it goes back to default position, factory settings. I am choosing to believe that joy gets to be the default position, the factory setting. And I work constantly in my life to get back to joy, back to love, back to possibility. And I think that that's one of the ways that I get to live boldly and joyfully. And I'm sharing this with all of you. Okay. So we're going to talk about embracing your boldness with ease. And that's the other thing I want to say too, that this is not about shape shifting into something that you're really not. It's about figuring out what your default position is and then enhancing that. I hope that makes sense. That's a little bit of a distinction for you. It's not about becoming something. Well, I shouldn't say it is about becoming. It's about becoming the best version of you, but it's not about faking it till you make it, or being false in your way of going for your dreams and goals and visions. It is about becoming the best version of yourself. And so there will be some shape shifting, there will be some transformation along the way, but it's not about pretending to be anything other than what you already are, your default, and then just enhancing that. So that's what makes it easy, because you can embrace the boldness with ease. I'm not going to suddenly become somebody who, I don't know, loves to do daredevil motorcycle riding. No, thank you. I could barely ride a regular bike. In fact, I actually have a tricycle. I have an adult tricycle. My bike has 3 wheels on it because I'm not the best with balance at this particular time in my life. I have been on a 2-wheeler bike, and I just find I need a little bit more grounding at this time in my life. Maybe if I exercise more and get my body in better shape, maybe I'll be able to balance on a regular bicycle. But for now, I have a tricycle. So I know for sure that I don't have an interest in becoming a daredevil motorcycle rider. Not interested. I don't have to shapeshift into that. I just need to ride my trike and be happy, and maybe transform to a 2-wheeler instead. My trike is really cute though. All right. So it's about ease. It really is about ease, is what I'm saying. You choose what is right, what feels right for you. And so we're going to talk about some techniques to boost your confidence and step into your true potential. And today we're going to build a strong foundation of confidence that empowers you to live boldly and do so much more. So it's about confidence, right? And confidence to me is the belief that I can, the belief that you can. I can have confidence in you. Confidence to me also incorporates a little bit of trust, and it's about building. Confidence is built, I think, over time and over trust and over faith and over doing and being what you say you want to do and be, and then you build confidence along the way. And it matters because it is about your personal growth. It is about your growth and your succession and your ascension into the version of yourself that's the highest level version of you, right? Confidence influences your ability to achieve your goals and maintain happiness. And the funny thing I like to say about this, let me just do this, is here's a trick that I have when I'm not feeling confident about a particular area of life or something new that I want to do. I just borrow confidence from a time and a space when I did succeed and I did do something well. The example that I often use is, those of you who've been in my world, you know that the first time I did stand-up was on a stage in a beauty pageant for plus-size girls. I was in my early 20s, confused about who I was and what I wanted to do. And I was like, I'm going to do this beauty pageant. I don't know, just cause. And I'm going to tell jokes. I'm going to be a comedian. I'm going to, my comedy is going to be my talent for the competition. And the short version of that story is, that night, I didn't win the first place. I won first runner-up. I didn't win the crown. I won comedy. I performed for the audience. It did really well. And I remember the feeling that I got standing on stage where people were laughing and clapping. And I didn't even know in that moment that I was going to win first runner-up. I had won myself. I had won what I needed to do, what I thought I was going to do with the rest of my life, because I'd been dropping in and out of college and I wasn't sure about who I was. When I felt that surge of energy, that rightness, that alignment, like, oh my goodness, this is what I need to do. Not knowing at the time that little 20-year-old, knock-kneed, kooky, goofy, girl standing on stage would develop into the woman that I am today. I didn't know where it would lead. I just had a renewed vision and a renewed goal to just go for my dreams. That moment led to everything else I've ever done in terms of performing, becoming a comedian, becoming an actress, becoming a speaker, becoming a coach, becoming an author. And now I'm a publisher where I help other people publish their works and their lights. I didn't know that at 21, standing on that stage in my little plus size bathing suit, twirling a baton to the tune of Thriller. That was my act. But it's taking that bold moment. And so when I'm feeling unconfident about something else, I borrow from that moment. I go, if that 21-year-old girl who didn't know who and what she was doing could figure it out and just go for something, to be bold and choose something, and I landed into the thing I should be for the rest of my life. So borrow confidence from yourself. What area, or is there an area of your life where you have succeeded, where you've done well, where you've achieved something that made you feel good? And it gets to be a bonus if other people noticed it too. That's the bonus. But it has to be about you feeling good about yourself. Something that you did, you're like, oh, I did that. I did that. Look at that. So when you go to accomplish something else, and you're like, I don't know, this is something new. I don't know if I could do this. You remember the time, you step into the time, you feel in your heart how you felt when you accomplished that amazing thing that you did accomplish. You just borrow a little bit of confidence. I actually say to myself, if I did that, I could do this. If I did that, and I didn't even know what that was, I know I can do this. With all the new wisdom that I have, with all the experience that I do have, I get to bring that with me. I get to borrow confidence. So it's a trick that I have, and feel free to do it. You can borrow from your own life. You can borrow from other people's lives, borrow from other people that you see like, wow, that's happening. Wow, that's a possibility. All you need is that little space for that possibility, for it to open up and for so much more to happen and experience. All right, good. All right, let me go to the next slide. What did I do here? There we go. So we're going to talk a little bit about limiting beliefs. Let's do that. Limiting beliefs. And you hear a lot about limiting beliefs. I don't think people stop to really slow that down a little bit. And I think it's important to slow down something enough to take a sip of tea, hopefully. Slow this down. Let me slow this down for you just a little bit. A limiting belief is really, well, let's go back even further. A belief is simply a thought that you've thought so much. It's just a thought that you've thought so much and so often and for so long that it becomes a belief. When I learned this, it was sort of like a bit of a brain gasm. I was like, wait a minute, I have my beliefs are my beliefs, and my beliefs are truths. Not necessarily. What? A belief is not necessarily a truth. It can be. A belief is just something that you've stepped into, a thought that you've had over and over and over again, so that it then becomes a belief. It then becomes a belief that's a part of who you are. It's just a thought that now becomes. And let's be honest, there are beliefs that we have that were built when we were kids, right? If mommy and or daddy were arguing, and they told you, go to, they didn't want you in their business. Children should be seen and not heard. Go on in your room now. Get out of here. You may have developed a belief as a little kid that my voice doesn't matter here. They don't want me to participate in the family. I don't belong here. Well, you think that long enough, and then what happens is it begins to show up in your world. Because you believe it, it's going to show up. Anytime you went on a new job or went on a new experience, or maybe when you went to school and there were some people that you wanted to be a group you wanted to be a part of, and maybe they weren't interested, maybe they weren't interesting, or maybe they weren't kind or whatever. They shunned you a little bit, and you go, oh, see, that belief got kicked up again. I don't belong here. Nobody wants me here. My voice doesn't matter. What happens is, because of the way we magnetize things in our lives, that there will be things that show up to help you believe that belief. I'm going to help you believe that. You believe that? Let me show you evidence of how that is true over and over and over again, right? It's powerful stuff, and we do it to ourselves. And I'm not blaming us. I'm just saying, let's have a little awareness around it. What if I were to adopt some new beliefs? Or what if I were to look at the beliefs that limit me? I'm too much. I'm not enough. I'm too fat. I'm too skinny. I'm too this. My hair is too this. I'm never going to find the right man. I'm never going to find the right woman. No one in my family has ever done this before, so I can't. What? Those are beliefs, thoughts that you think over and over and over again that now limit you. See why I wanted to slow this down a little bit, right? Slow this down. We say limiting beliefs, mindset shifts, but let's slow it down. A belief is just a thought that you think over and over again. And a limiting belief is one that does not allow you to live your boldacious life. What? That's all it is. And so if a belief is a limiting belief, if a belief is slowing you down, if a belief is not allowing you to be the best version of yourself, A, why do you keep thinking it? And B, how do we dismantle it and turn the dial down on it? And some beliefs that we have are so ingrained in us, present company included. Show my hand. Present company included. They're so ingrained in us that we don't know how to shake them loose. I say, for the purpose of this challenge, let's just have awareness around it. Let's just be very mindful, be very demure, be very mindful. See how that mindful thing works, whether you're bold or whether you're demure. Be very mindful and just check yourself before you wreck yourself. Chitty, check yourself before you wreck yourself, and watch it pop up over and over and over again and go, oh, is that really true? Look, those of you know me, I've talked before. I have had 2 marriages, 2 divorces, 2 marriages and 2 divorces. And my belief was like, I can't get this right. We're not going to, I'm done. I'm good. I'm good. Because this is hard. This is real, real hard. And the limiting belief was I'm not going to meet anyone that's going to rise up to the the expectations that I have. And I had to do a lot of work around that and a lot of work on me, because the truth is, they came in my life, it didn't work out, off they go, but I still got to live with me. So I did the work on shifting my beliefs about myself and what I thought that I deserved, what I thought that the kind of man I wanted to attract into my life. And lo and behold, I shouted him out earlier, but did I get a doozy this time? I got the right one, because I transformed my belief around what I required, deserved, expected, and my level of worth, so that I could attract someone that was more in alignment. And this is not to diss the other 2 gentlemen. They're great. They're actually both happy in their new relationships, and I'm happy for them. I got some beautiful lessons, and now I got an understanding of what I really wanted and what I really deserved and what I wanted to attract in my life. I was able to dial down the limiting belief on whatever it was that was keeping me from meeting someone that was really the right person for me ultimately. So it's just about recognize. You better recognize the beliefs in your life. Just go looking for them. Just go looking. They show up all the time, and they show up in places that you don't expect. I love to give this story. I have a really great example. My very first assistant. She was 23 and smart and just awesome. She just got out of college and she was working, and, I hired her to be my assistant, and, we became friends over the time we worked together. And there came a point where it was time for her to leave. And when she left, she went to go work in production, and she became a stage manager, or as we like to say, an AD, assistant director, associate director. And over the course of time, she really started doing well. Like, I would see her at award shows and see her on stage with her little headset. And, they usually wear all black, and they're behind the scenes, and they're making sure that they're, putting talent where they need to be, and, getting their notes where we need to do. And she was just, doing her thing. And there came a point where we talked, like, I know that she became a requested professional. Like, she was killing the game and making money and just really, really good at what she did. And she would give me the inside scoop, like, y'all talent people get on my nerves. When I tell you to come out your dressing room, because we need you on the set. Come on. And so we would have a lot of fun, and she experienced really great gains. And there came a point where she needed a new car. And her name is Jennifer. She's just an incredible human being. She wanted a new car. And she found this, gently used Mercedes-Benz. Like, it wasn't new. It was a little older, but it was in great shape. It was super cute. Like, it fit her, the energy, her personality. And she told me that she was excited about it. And then she told me she changed her mind. I decided not to get the Benz. Like, why didn't you buy the Benz? Like, you could afford it, right? Like, you liked it. It was cute. And she said, I decided not to get the Benz because there are men that I want to date that might be intimidated by me having a Benz. So just like that Marianne Williamson quote, who am I to be fabulous and amazing? Who am I to shine my light? Now, you could say that having a Benz is just a material possession. It's no big deal, but it's the energy of what it was. She'd worked hard for this, and she wanted a reliable car that suited her, that just matched her, that particular energy. And she just said, I'm afraid that there are guys that won't, that will be intimidated if I get this car. And I thought at that time, like, wow, that's a limiting belief. Number one, if you date someone who's intimidated because you have a used Mercedes-Benz or a brand new Porsche or a brand new Tesla or whatever, if you're dating someone who is intimidated by anything that you have achieved, experienced, bought for yourself, then that ain't the right person to date anyway. That's number one. Like, you shouldn't want anyone. You couldn't want anyone in your life that would be intimidated by your success, by your growth, by your desire to grow. And some of you have people in your lives like, I don't want to grow any further than I don't, if I go for this degree, what will people think? What will people in my family think? And so she didn't buy that Benz because she was like, I'm afraid of the guy. Like, what if there's a guy who's driving a hoopty? Do we still say hoopties? It's driving a little hoopty, but he's like, I'm so glad that my girl has a Benz and I'm working. You know what? I'm driving this hoopty because I'm saving money to pay my college bills, or I'm saving money to send my little brother off to camp, or I'm saving my money because I want to buy my parents a house. I'm going to drive this hoopty and I'm going to love on my woman who now has this incredible Benz. Like, there could be that guy who wouldn't be intimidated at all. Or maybe he's got his own Benz or Porsche or tricycle or whatever it is. And she didn't think that she could meet someone who would be just fine with her being just fine. I had my own limiting beliefs. I talk about living single, making me very wealthy. 5 seasons of that show made me wealthy. Not only that show, but all the things I did after that, all the things I did while I was doing that show. I let the energy of that show, the PR of that show. I built 1,000 things while I was on that show. I wrote my first book while I was at Living Single. I did my first one-woman show. Actually, it was a one-woman show with 4 men in it. And we toured it, right? Called Homework. I did a lot of things while I was on that show. And these things made me a very wealthy woman. And I had limiting belief. I felt bad that I was richer than my parents, who had gone to college and both had advanced degrees. In fact, I was the first generation in my family that didn't go to college, that didn't finish school. I had such imposter syndrome and such limiting belief around, who am I to have all this money just by being wacky Kim Coles? And if you've been in my world for half a minute, I talk a lot about how after the show ended, I shopped all that money away because I didn't think I deserved it. Not only did I have limiting beliefs about what I was meant to have, what I was meant to put out in the world and receive back, because that's all money is. It's receiving material things for the work that you are, for who you are, I should say. It's not like you're getting paid. You get paid to do the work, but the truth is it's an exchange of energy. That's all it is. I felt guilty about receiving the exchange of energy for the work that I was putting out in the world, because somehow it didn't match up to what my parents had, advanced degrees. My grandmother, when I was born, only one grandparent was alive. So I don't know if the other grandparents finished college, but I know the grandmother I had that was living went back to school and got her master's in her 50s, in the 50s. I felt so limited. I felt like such an imposter. And so I shopped all that money away. I wasn't present to it at the time. I wasn't mindful at the time of the imposter syndrome that I had. I just knew I don't deserve this. I got to get rid of it. And so I did. I shopped it all away. I shopped myself into oblivion and tons of debt because I didn't think I deserved to have this receiving with ease from the universe of just showing, from the universe and God, of just showing up and being myself. I want you to look in your life where you do that to yourself. I'm telling you these stories about other people and about myself because I want you to look in your life where you keep yourself small, where you don't shine your light because maybe you're afraid of what other people are going to think. Actually, they're going to be inspired. The people who are going to think negative things don't belong in your life anyway. You'll show them how it's done just by being you And it's not about the haters, because I don't have a whole lot of energy and time for, I'm going to show my haters. The haters will just witness it. I'm not going to show them. They're going to see it on their own. But so will the people in your pond when you make that ripple in the pond. The people who you're meant to impact will be like, I'm so glad that you did that thing, that you made that thing, that you showed up there, you made that speech, you wrote that book, you fill in the blank, whatever it is you're here to do, whatever legacy you're meant to live and leave. There are people waiting for you to do it so you can prove it to them that it's possible for them too. Okay, I hope that lands with you. I hope that lands with you. So identify your limiting beliefs. Just start looking this week, because we're going to spend a week together. Just start looking for like, what are some things I believe that aren't really truths? Look for the truths. I have a mentor, Elizabeth, always says truth with a capital T. What are the truths? The truth is that you are a divine creation. The truth is abundance is all around you. I always tell the story of my little lemon tree. The house that we used to live in had this crazy lemon tree. It was crazy because it would drop these giant lemon bombs. They were as big as grapefruits. It was fun when you wanted to make some lemonade or have some lemon to drizzle on your salad or fish. It was not fun in the middle of the night when they would drop their juicy lemons in the middle of the night outside the bedroom windows. Like, what is that? The lemon bombs. The tree would not stop growing. It was just overgrowth of lemons. It's an overgrowth of abundance. And I want you to know that you have an abundance of availability, or abundance is available in your life, in googobs. Googobs, is that really a word? I'm on slide 7 and there's 13 slides. So let's talk about building self-confidence. I talked a little bit before about borrowing confidence from yourself. Look in your life where something worked, something clicked, something went down that felt real good. Something happened that yielded a result that you can go, oh, yes. And the next time you're going for something that's new, something that requires some courage or some bravery, or I don't know if I should do that, I don't know how I'm gonna do that, I don't know how this, borrow from that time that you didn't know how to do that other thing, but you did it anyway. It's necessary. It's the exercises of life that we have to go through, that we have to do, that we have to make happen in order to make the next thing happen. The other thing that I love to do is use affirmations, positive intentions. And the thing about affirmations, again, it's another one of those things I like to slow down a little bit. Like, say your affirmations. I think affirmations are actually intentions that then cause you to get in action. Because an affirmation without action is just some pretty words. Ouch. Sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. An affirmation is just a pretty phrase that you wrote down, and maybe you say it in the mirror, like, oh, that's pretty. I am worthy. Yay. I allow myself to dream as big as I possibly can. Woohoo. If you don't put any action behind that bad boy, then it's just some pretty words. Sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. I'm being bold. I'm being boldacious. So I'd like to share with you some of my favorite affirmations, and also just give you some distinctions in case you've never done them before, or in case you're writing your affirmations or saying your affirmations in a way that might be working against you. So the way I was taught affirmations is that actually they incorporate within the affirmation how you want to feel, and they incorporate. It's good to incorporate action in the affirmation. So an action word. So I see, I am, I feel. I got my notes. I know, I create, I allow, I have, I release. Right? It has an action in it. If I say I release, so instead of saying I don't want to be broke no more, I can say I release all debt. I release. It's off you go into the cornfield. I'll share that reference with you later. I create the life that I want to live. I create it. I allow the mate. I allow the best mate to come into my life that will love on me and I get to love on them. I allow that in my life, because you have to allow that. Yeah, you may meet them here and there, but you have to allow it. I had to allow EJ to come in because I was like, I'm done. I had to allow it, right? To shine my light and allow it. So what do you allow? What do you feel? If you use feeling in your affirmations, you are like 90% there. Talk about how you want to feel as this thing is coming in, and to put them in the positive and to put them in the present tense. Like, I'm going to feel really good when I have a big house. No, you feel wonderful in your new space. Here's a trick that EJ taught me. You got to feel wonderful in the space that you're already in order to allow and attract the space that's coming. You got to feel and allow this right here to be all right, to be wonderful, in order for more wonderful to even show up. So try that on for size. I feel, I allow, I see, I create, I have, I am, I release, I know. And then I have my favorite quickie reset affirmation: all is well. Stuff is happening. I don't know what's going on. I don't know the reason for it. I don't understand the bigger meaning. I just go, you know what? All is well. Flight is delayed. I'm going to miss my connecting flight that's going to get me to the gig that they done already paid me for, and I got to get there. All is well. And if you really look back in your life, I really want to challenge you to look back in your life and see if there have been times that you thought, mayhem, mayday, danger, Will Robinson. You got to be old enough to know that reference. Danger, Will Robinson. That in the end, all was well. Things worked out as they could and should. And and that's another one I say, all is working towards my highest and best good. All works out to my highest and best good. My highest and best good is activated now. My highest and best level is activated right now, because maybe I didn't get the thing I wanted, but I got the lesson. I'll take the lesson. Thank you. I'll take the lesson. That's just as good. I didn't get the thing I wanted. I got the lesson. I'll take that. Thank you. All is well. So I'm going to challenge you to look for experiences in your life where all is well. All has been well. By the way, I just want to remind everyone, if you don't have the workbook, let me show you how to get that. You go to Bold Living Challenge. I've got a workbook with these reflective questions and all the things. And like I said, it's going to take up all the ink on your on your printer. I got day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, and we're going to answer these questions. And you're going to put your responses. I have already put a post up in the Facebook group, the Boldacious Base Camp or Boldacious Boot Camp. If you register, you'll get a link to join the group. We'll let you in. And I have something I call ahas and oh snaps. What are some ahas and oh snaps that are showing up for you as we talk about this? And by the way, if you want to say yes to the VIP, because as soon as I'm done here in a few more minutes, it took a little bit longer today because I wanted to explain what was going on here, then we're going to spend some extra time together, and I'm going to get to be with you in a smaller space and get to coach with you and hear some of your thoughts and dreams and experiences. Okay. So you can just go to boldlivingchallenge.com /VIP. The VIP is only $97. Not only will you get your workbook, but you'll also get to keep these replays for life, because these are coming down every 24 hours. I really want to encourage people to watch this, to watch this. So it'll be coming down every 24 hours. And then, you'll get to keep them for a lifetime. And I have some other resources that I'm making available for you. In fact, we have a place that's already set up with some resources there for you already. $97. And I'm giving you the $97 back because you can apply that $97 as a credit towards a future workshop or future masterclass or future working with me. Okay. So I like to call that the free gift with purchase. Okay. So where was I? So work on your affirmations. Share some of them in the chat here or in the Boldacious Base Camp. Like I said before, it's either Boldacious Base Camp or Boldacious Boot Camp. I went back and forth between two names. So whatever it is, you're there. We're there together. I'll get a chance to see your comments and see your ahas and oh snaps. Okay. So work on your affirmations. People like to do them in the mirror. I always start giggling when I do them in the mirror. Um, I do them in bed before getting up or just before going to sleep at night. And I told you my favorite one that's like quick and easy and to the point. All is well. All is well. Always, all is and always will be well. I'd make that choice. So you've got some joy work, also known as homework. You've got some joy work. Homework, joy work. I told you I'll be changing the names of things. Write down 3 positive affirmations specifically to the area that you identified today. So I didn't ask you specifically to think about an area that you want to make some affirmations for. It could be a specific area or it could be many, many areas, whatever you want. And like I said, all is well is something I use over and over again all the time in all areas, right? Right? And so just repeat these affirmations every day for a week. And, it's also helpful to write them down. There's that technique of writing something several times, say it 3 times, write it 3 times. There's so many tools and ways to manifest what you want. Use all of them. Find what works well for you and do it. Sometimes I write mine down. Sometimes I just say it. Sometimes while I'm driving, I'll say it as a mantra. All is well, 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 all is well. I get sassy with it. All is well, right? And strengthen your confidence with those affirmations. I am, I have, I see, I create. Keep them in the positive and keep them in the present. Positive and present. I will have the biggest house on the block in 10 years. You will have it, or do you have it in your vision right now? Do you have it in your heart right now? Do you feel it so powerfully? By the way, here's another technique that we've learned, and we hear Esther Hicks talks about this a lot, but it's also a way, science has proven that there's a way to shift the neural pathways in your brain. 17 seconds is all it takes. I have a tendency to spiral downward. Like when something's going bad. Remember I said, I'm trying to get my default position to be joy. My factory setting is joy all the time, but life happens, things happen, and I will spiral to despair and sadness and pain and oh no and doom and gloom. The way to spiral back up, 17 seconds. Just spend 17 seconds at a better feeling energy. Like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. It's not going to happen. Go from this is not going to happen, it's never going to happen, to, well, I don't know how it could happen, but maybe it could. That's better than never going to happen. Nope. So go from nope to maybe all the way to yup. And that's the simplest way I could tell you. It only takes you 17 seconds in a new energy to keep spiraling up the ladder all the way to bliss and joy and love and enlightenment. So give yourself that treat. So here are some radiant reflections. What are the 3 areas that you'd like to overcome self-doubt? How can you incorporate visualization techniques in 17 seconds of visualization just in a moment? Like everything around me is a hot mess right now, but I could spend 17 seconds imagining the hot mess not being such a hot mess. I could spend 17 seconds imagining how it could go well, how it could go right. And that just gives a little bit of space. All you need is a little bit of space to find a solution, for a solution to pop in. I really think that God, the universe, the divine, however you want to language it, just needs you to give me a little bit of space, because you're down in the dumpster. You're like down in the pain, like this is horrible. I do it too, y'all. I do it too. I've had to do the work. That's why I wanted to share this with all of you, because I do the work myself. We teach what we most need to learn, and we learn what we most need to teach. Take that on. Did you hear what I just said? You've heard that phrase before. We learn what we most need to teach. No, we teach what we most need to learn. Everyone who's a teacher, I believe, every person who's teaching, every coach, every person who's leading in some way, they're doing it because they needed to learn it themselves. They're like, this is good stuff. I need to help other people. I need to be the ripple in the pond. But you won't learn what to teach if you don't learn what to teach. You won't know what to share unless you examine those experiences. And we're going to do that one of these days. We're going to go through some of your stories and find these beautiful transformational moments that have transformed you, and now you can be the ripple in the pond and help others. All right. So there was something I was going to share, and I think it went away. But what dropped in needed to drop in. Oh, that I go through this myself. Is sometimes it just takes, like I said, 17 seconds of creating a little space so the divine can go, I have a solution for you. Hey, I got an answer for you. I have a resource for you. There's someone coming in who's going to fix that for you. Yeah, but you're so busy down here, you can't hear me. You can't hear me though. Just give me 17 seconds of going, all is well. I know that all will be well. All is well and it will be well. Okay, all right. Then that gives the creator, divine inspiration, your inner knowing, a little bit of space to go, good, she shut up for just a moment. Good, okay. She's feeling a little bit better. Let me drop in that resource right quick. You know what? I never thought about calling so-and-so. She always has an answer to blah, 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 whatever it is. There are people in your world who already know how to help, who can help you, who want to help you. The other thing I'll say that I learned that was really a life changer for me is that you wouldn't have your dreams and your visions if they weren't meant for you to make them manifest, make them come true. I'm going to say that again. The visions that you have, the dreams that you have, the goals that you have, the wishes that you have for yourself, the bigness of what you want, what you're feeling, the desires that you have wouldn't have been given to you if the way to make them come forth wasn't available to you. They came to you for a reason. They came to you, uniquely you, boldaciously you, perfectly imperfect you. You're the one who downloaded the idea. It was given to you by the divine because you're the one that's supposed to make it manifest. And remember, I started out by saying that this is about living your life boldly and with ease. That's where the ease comes in. We just go like, wait a minute, if I step into my purpose, wait a minute, if I really step into this mission that I've been feeling like there's something I want to do, there's something I want to create, there's something I want to say. It would not be given to you if you weren't the one to do it, say it, create it, be it, become it, and then show other people how it's done. That, my friends, is Boldacious Day 1. Boldacious Challenge Day 1. What are some of your ahas and oh snaps? So an aha is just that, like a little, okay. I'm listening to that a completely different way. I'm hearing that a completely different way right now. And oh snaps, like, oh snap, no she didn't. Oh snap, I've been doing that my whole life. Oh snap, you mean to tell me if I change that, I could change that? Okay, oh snap, okay, all right, okay. That's what an aha and an oh snap. So what you'll do is you can post them here in the comments, and I'll come back and read all the comments. I've been really focused on sharing what I had to share for you today. But also go to the Boldacious Bootcamp and post your ahas and your oh snaps. Maybe it's something you heard for the first time, something you're hearing in a new way. You know, this week I really want to slow things down. When I learned that a belief is just a thought that I think over and over again, I can go, wait a minute, I can have a brand new belief just by believing something new. Oh, okay. When I go back to that Marianne Williamson quote, it's like, who am I to be fabulous? Who am I to be me? Who are you not to be? Oh, snap. Oh, snap. That means you really got to step into it. And that's what this week is all about. Thank you so much for spending time with me. You can go to Coach Kim Coles /bold. What does that get you? That gets you signed up. Oh, thank you for that. And the way you join the Boldacious Bootcamp is right there. And if you want the workbook, and you're going to want the workbook. Thank you. Go to boldlivingchallenge.com. That's how you get the workbook. And that's sort of the access to everything because it gets you registered, and then we'll send you emails each day to remind you to come here. Remember, the replay comes down in 24 hours. However, if you're a VIP, what we're going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of a bio break. Go to your email. There is a Zoom link for you. I will meet you back in 5 minutes. I'm going to freshen up my tea. I'm going to take a bio break, and I'm going to meet you in the Zoom room where I will love on you some more. I will love on you some more. Oh, for tomorrow, just so you know, we're going to talk about the path towards joyful living. We're going to explore some strategies and tools for cultivating joy. But in the meantime, go get the workbook. The reflective questions are actually in the workbook, and there's some other follow-up questions there for you. There's a lesson, there's follow-up. You know, I'm the daughter of a teacher, and I come from a family of educators, so I put my foot in this thing. You know how people say. Thank you all so much. Feel free to share this with a friend. Like you know, this is a free challenge. The VIP is only $97. I give that back to you once you join. I'll share with you how that ways that you can activate that $97 back in your pocket. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, same time, same place. Live your bold life and share your affirmations, because I love reading other people's affirmations and going like, ooh, that resonates with me too. Thank you all so much. All the best. Bye for now. And oh yes, woo, woo, woo. Woo, 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 everybody. All the best. 5 minutes. I'll see my VIPs all up in the Zoom room. See you then. Bye for now. How do I stop this crazy thing?